Hello everyone, my name is John Hardt. I'm the director of the Low Income Taxpayer Clinic at MVLS, and you know what? I just filed my taxes yesterday online, so I figured now is probably a good time to just talk about some filing tips for the tax season for everybody else. So I think a good starting point before you really make decisions about how to file is to make sure you have all of your documents first. So this would be documents about your income. For example, W-2s or 1099s are both forms issued to you by your employer, or at least they should have been, about your income for the year. But they could also be, if you didn't receive those, but you still have income, you can find that information potentially on bank statements or paychecks. Just some record of how much income you've had for the year and where it came from. Then, once you have all that information, potentially maybe also gather some information on expenses that might be deductible. So one example would be interest paid on student loans. You should have gotten a form issued to you about that from your student loan provider. But also, other expenses like changes you made to your house, just things that might be deductible. So once you have that, I recommend people start looking at free options first. There are three that I want to talk about here. One is Free File, IRS Free File. That is a system that's been around for a while now, and it is an online system on the IRS website where you can go and just look up Free File, and it'll show you, they have a partnership program with a number of different private companies, which can point you in the right direction to how you can actually file online for free using software like TaxSlayer, for example. Another good place to look is also on the IRS website. They have a new program this year called IRS Direct File. IRS Direct File is very similar, but it doesn't use an outside company. You're filing directly with the IRS, hence the name. Direct File is a new program, and it has some limitations. For example, if you have an IRA, it doesn't support reporting on that. So if you go to the actual website, it'll lay out a pretty clear list of what it does and doesn't cover, which is good information if you want to decide whether or not to use it. I personally recommend using it because, as I said, I just used that yesterday to file my taxes, and it went great. It was pretty easy. I got a refund. It checked my eligibility for a number of important credits, and I was notified pretty quickly that the IRS had accepted my return. So I can personally vouch for it. And finally, the third free option would be to get an appointment with a Vita site. So Vita stands for Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, and it is a series of nonprofit operated sites where you can make an appointment, bring them all your documents, and then they can sit down with you and complete your taxes for the year. Now, if you're seeing this video now, a lot of those appointments are filled up, so I would say if you need a little more extensive help, make an appointment quickly. The Maryland Cash Campaign runs a lot of the Vita sites in Baltimore, and you can check them out at cashmd.org. And once you've checked those free options and maybe you don't qualify based on their income limits, there's always plenty of paid preparers. Just make sure to avoid ones that are making maybe some outlandish claims about giant refunds. But you know what? I think I've talked for long enough, so thank you everybody and happy filing.